With its glamorous mix of original choreography, music and costumes, New York City-based dance company Ballets with a Twist has everything you need for an intoxicating evening of entertainment. In the company's signature program, Cocktail Hour, critically acclaimed dance maker Marilyn Klaus' extravagant ballet vaudeville style shakes it up with Grammy-nominated Stephen Gilbert's jazz and classical hip-hop remixes and ultra-chic costumes by Catherine Zier. This irreverent suite of dances brings iconic American drinks to life, saluting the elegance of cocktail cultures. Martini, Mai Tai, Gimlet, and more spring off the menu and onto the stage. The show has seduced audiences new in season, and no wonder. Huffington Post calls Klaus a hip ballet romantic. The New York Times calls her work witty and fantastic. You've never seen cocktails like these.
I was very excited because what I wanted to do was make a character that was both horse and rider. And I thought, well, this is no problem because ballet, the training of the ballet, makes the girls look like the beautiful, elegant thoroughbreds. So when I told the designer, well, she'll be part jockey, you know, she said, get me out of here. But she ends up, they're each wearing a fascinator, so it's kind of like ascot. And they have beautiful unitards, and of course the girls look as beautiful as the horses.
And they do look beautiful. I was looking at the website.
they are, and then they have the little fascinator hat, and then the trainers and the groomers are in the dance too. They love their horses, so they partner them. They're in love with the horse. It's a new way of doing classical pas de deux, which is the duet of the man and the woman. And then we have the owner's daughter, who makes the killing at the end of the race. So it's the, you know, runs for
now you made a film of that, or a short presentation?
What we, unfortunately for your viewers, the only footage we have of that is the preview from the film festival, which is outdoors. So you'll only be able to see still footage. We have beautiful still footage.
But you played that down at the Tribeca Film Festival, right?
We performed it, yeah, outdoors.
And how did that go over?
It was great.
No, it started at 10 in the morning, right?
10 in the
Was
morning.
that a little too early for people, or is it New York and like?
Oh, we had a good house. I think we had about 200 people there, and from my ballet studio, I had 4 little horses, 7, 8, and 9 years of age. They're in the dance, so their fans show up. Yeah.
So what are some other plans you have coming up in the future? So how long is this going to run at XL? Is this going to be a one-time performance?
For right now, it's the first night. They've never done anything like this before.
And maybe you can tell my fans where XL is. That's on 42nd Street, right?
Sure, yeah. It's on 42nd Street.
And that's going to be June 14th?
June 14th, yes. And it's very close to 10th Avenue, between 10th and 11th Avenue. Very elegant.
And what time do you start?
The show starts at 8.
PM or?
8 p.m. Yes. The show.
Well, I've been to XL. It could very easily start at 8.
Yeah. But then, yeah, and the show starts at 8. The doors open at 6:30. The ticket sales are already kind of doing very well, so get in there and get your ticket. But we're hoping that we'll be able to do a few evenings in future at XL, that it'll become a home for us.
Do you plan to do it anywhere else in Manhattan, or are you going to take it nationally? Or?
Well, what we did in August, we showed at Lincoln Center Atrium. There were 300 people waiting around the block that couldn't get in. We have plans to perform in China. There's a consortium there that's very interested.
Have you performed there before?
We have never performed there, but they think that the Chinese people will be ready to be exposed to this aspect of American culture.
Western decadence?
Yes, yes, and so that's something that we're working on.
But it's not just decadence, like you're talking about, you have a higher truth you're trying to communicate.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the last...
like what are some of the themes that you're talking about in the dance, just besides them being named after a drink?
Yeah, well, of course, the Mai Tai has to do with the beautiful form of Hawaiian dance, the hula, which is a classical, sacred form of dance. And it so happens that I started learning how to do the hula when I was 3. And so that...
Very interesting, you have a lot of Americana, it seems like, in your influences.
Definitely.
Hula, you mentioned vaudeville, Charlie Chaplin.
Yes, definitely. And then we go right after Shirley Temple. The next dance is the Roy Rogers. And I'm used to, when I was a child, I would order the Shirley Temple, and my brothers would order the Roy Rogers. It's just exactly the same drink, but there's no way the boys are going to be caught dead ordering
I know, I wouldn't get a Shirley Temple.
Yeah, but Roy Rogers, they'll step up to the bar, and Dale Evans is our ballerina in this, and she cracks that whip, and we sort of have a Keaton or Harold Lloyd figure who stands there.
Get more comedy, huh?
Yeah, get more
comedy. Do you try to bring comedy into your ballet?
I don't try it all, but I can't help it. It just gets in there. And my teacher, she's very elderly now, she came up with the name of the company, Ballets with a Twist. She said, because I'm always getting in there, and I can't help it. It just happens. Yeah. So we have that. And then the Manhattan cocktail is about a Fifth Avenue woman.
So very sophisticated? Very
sophisticated, and you don't know if it's the turnover into morning that she's been out, it's kind of a breakfast at Tiffany's type of feel.
So some irony in there.
Some irony, and she's walking her little dog, and we have him decked out. He's really her date. And we have a little bow tie on him.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah, and she walks him, and then she hails the cab at the end. And
so it seems like you're exploring between high and low cultures?
Definitely. Brandy Alexander's in there. Now, he's a club denizen. He goes out, he's going to the clubs. But it's like he leads you into a wild boogie night. But even though he's a leader of Macedonia, so I have incorporated certain European elements, and eventually we'll be having a whole European night of cocktails. The Bellini, I've done the absinthe, which we're going to do.
So you keep adding drinks?
Constantly keep adding drinks. The finale of Excel is holy water. Believe it or not.
That's very interesting.
Believe it or not, there is truly such a drink, but it speaks to the desire to go higher. And that can be read in a number of ways, but it is a gospel score. The girls are gospel via Detroit. So where all those marvelous American singers come out of the church, it's paying.
So there's a spiritual element to your work as well.
Absolutely.
Which should be very interesting in XL.
Very interesting, but remember we're drinking spirits here.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
So there's definitely a connection. And I know some ancient peoples, they chew on leaves and create their own natural fermented liquor.
So you're trying to create like a natural connection with the audience?
Absolutely. Margarita.
And how long does the performance go for? Or is it very...
Well, it depends. Yes, it can, for whatever venue we're doing, we can do it as long or short. At XL, we're going to have an intermission. That way people can have another cocktail. But the show is about...
Now, do people like to drink while they're watching this show?
Well, I think they're going to.
Yeah.
I think they're going to. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there'll be like a whole interaction that you don't usually get out of ballet, for instance. And are you trying to get that with your work?
Definitely. And because some of the dances that I do, can be very come hither. The dancers can come close to the audience and can even do a little business with them.
So that's kind of like reinventing the traditional ballet from what you were saying, right?
Yes. But again, with great reverence and love. We're not trying to take it off the pedestal at all. We're trying to say, this is for you. This is a beautiful, glamorous, entertaining form, and you're going to dig it. I mean, like, people love sports. Look at watching all those well-trained athletes. Well, we have...
Oh, I know. Again, I'm saying I've looked at the video samples. It's just like spectacular.
And I remember, for instance, at the Oakland Raiders, when they came to LA, of course, they trained the quarterback, Marcus Allen. He took ballet.
Oh, that's right, yeah. I remember being like a kid thinking, oh, ballet.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got 3 gorgeous guys who, beautiful ballet dancers who are really strong guys.
Too, huh?
Fit, beautiful, and really worth watching, as well as the gorgeous girls.
You've been influenced by dance styles in the past.
Yes, I have.
Now, it's just to draw upon that, like picking like the Shirley Temple.
Yes. Well, Shirley. She's an urban Shirley, and the music that's been written by Stephen Gabori, who's the composer, is a hip-hop Scotch type of a thing. So Shirley gets out after school, she finds a tutu in a trash can, tries it on for size, does her after-school activities, and it's an urban score for now. She tries out Madonna's moves from music videos, and I choreographed it on a 9-year-old girl. So she was able to bring, she's a ballet student, so she can dance.
What made you pick something like hip-hop, just to stay in the present, or were you trying to expand your reach?
It was very natural to me because I love music and I love popular culture, and I dug the Fugees, and it was just not a problem. It just seemed right for a kid's dance. I wanted her to be a now kid.
Now, you're originally from California? I
am.
So, and you studied under which people out there?
Sure. My first teacher was a retired Busby Berkeley dancer. And then after that, I had a vaudeville star named Mae Murray. She was my teacher. And then I had the legendary Carmelita Marachi. She's an incredible ballet coach who actually taught Charlie Chaplin his role in Modern Times. So she taught him how to do ballet, and when you see him turn out like that as the little tramp, that's Carmelita's work.
Yeah, like I was reading too, like you were looking at your latest ballet as like as a modern twist on traditional ballet?
Oh yes, yes. It's done with great love for the traditional art form. I don't have to throw any of the baby out with the bathwater, because it is such a full, beautiful form of training that you can use it to express anything you need. It's eternally modern.
And what's it like bringing ballet, let's say, like in the XL, or like a New York City nightclub? How's that going over? Is it also bringing in like new audience, people who maybe didn't necessarily see ballet before?
Absolutely. We're seeing that people are very interested. They want to like ballet. They know they should like it, but they don't want to sit there and fall asleep in the theater.
Well, I was looking at the videos that they have on your website. Maybe you might want to mention to my fans your website.
Oh, cool, yeah. So the website is www.balletswithatwist.com. So it's plural, ballets. We've got a lot of cool ballets. Balletswithatwist.com.
And then you have a lot of videos up there or samples of the things. And I know when I was looking at them, very interesting too. Like they're very hip ballet. Like there was like two dancers sitting there like in a chair and a couple of them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the two guys, they're sitting on piano benches. That's the Scotch on the Rachmaninoff. And that's a tribute to Harpo and Groucho and all those great vaudevillians. But using that real piano feel of Rachmaninoff, which again, the composer has done a great job.
So it seems like you have a Hollywood influence in there?
Yes.
Because you've already mentioned like Chaplin.
Yeah, major. I didn't realize it until I started choreographing, but major influence.
Now, plus the costumes are very visual.
Yes.
Who's the designer?
Yes, thank you so much, Catherine Zaire. We've been working together for a long time now, and she is a pip. You know, she reimagines. Every concept I have, she brainstorms. She thinks that she's going to have a nervous breakdown. How can she do it? And then, boy, she brings it home in spades.
So you worked with her and also with the musician?
Yes, the composer. We're a team. We work on everything together.
That's great. So it's not just separate alone?
No, I could not do it alone now. It's come to the point where I have...
Okay, thanks so much for coming on the show. We're really forward to the performance.
Thank you so much, and I hope everybody comes.